What is up, everybody? We are back here at King Film Sports for the NFL Conference Championship predictions. But first, as always, we have to recap the weekend that was the NFL Divisional round, which was the best weekend of football I think I've ever watched. And we had four great games here. All four game-winning plays decided them. First here, Bengals at Titans. I had Titans -3. I think King Henry returning would be a major difference. It wasn't. The Bengals actually did pretty good in stopping the ground game, and Tannehill threw 3 costly interceptions there. Bengals, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow, 9 sacks against him, but he got up every single time, willed his team to victory there. 19-16, Bengals won on an Evan McPherson 50-plus yard field goal there. Then Niners plus 200, gutsy victory. This was a great call by me, and it looked in doubt the entire game. The Packers were just sitting on a 7-0, 7-3, then 10-3 lead the entire game. Jimmy G and that Niners offense just could not score at all. And then the punt block by Jordan Willis and the Hufanga return, 10-10. And then Aaron Rodgers had his time to make a game-winning play, but no, 3 and out there. And then Jimmy G and the Niners get the ball back. They get into field goal range. Robbie Gould boots in a 45-yard field goal. Very, very ugly game there by both quarterbacks, but the special teams decided it. The Niners win 13-10. We get a clean 2 units there. Then Rams versus Buccaneers. I had the Rams plus 140. I thought it was going to be a very close game, and I liked the value with the Rams. And it was not a close game for 2.5 quarters. Rams up 27-3. You could make an argument that they could have been up more points. Cam Akers had a fumble on the 1-yard line at the end of the first half. But the Bucs and Tom Brady, you knew they were going to come back, and they did. 24 points down. They come all the way back, 27-27 in the fourth quarter, and all the momentum was with Tampa Bay, and then Matthew Stafford, 2 huge completions to Cooper Kupp. The Rams get the win, and Stafford punches his ticket to the NFC Championship game. We get good plus money value there with the Rams. And then Bills at Chiefs. Paul predicted this game. He took the Bills and cannot fault him there. Josh Allen had a hell of a game, and the Bills had the number 1 defense going into this game, and they played like one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They gave Patrick Mahomes everything he wanted in this game. 25 points scored in the last 2 minutes. It was wild, and I personally think the coin toss decided the game, and the Chiefs won that coin toss, stormed down the field, and then won the game with the Kelsey touchdown. So the Chiefs advanced there. So on the divisional round betting locks, I went plus 2.3 units. Great week there again. So we are plus 26.0 units on the year. On the divisional round game predictions, I went 2-1. Paul, as I mentioned, lost that Bills-Chiefs game, so he slides down to 10-7. And just a reminder on our Super Bowl futures we made before the season, but these are absolutely looking great. Going into the Sunday games with 6 teams alive still, 5 of these teams were on this list. The only team that we don't currently have is the Bengals, which, I mean, if you had a Super Bowl ticket on them before the season, that is absolutely lucrative right now. So I wish I were you, but we still have the Kansas City Chiefs plus 500 and the Rams and Niners plus 1,400. If the Rams or Niners win the Super Bowl, that will be a big payout there. So keep your eye out on that. And now we get to the NFL Conference Championship games. First, we start with the AFC title game, Bengals at Chiefs. And we saw this game a few weeks ago, and it was an absolute barn burner, 34-31, but it was in Cincinnati, and the Chiefs do have a great home field here. And I really think it comes down to Joe Burrow against this Chiefs defense. I think the Bengals O-line is going to do them in. The Chiefs have a good pass rush, and I think they will blitz the heck out of Joe Burrow. I think the Bengals will have a decent day on offense, but not as good as Patrick Mahomes against this Bengals defense. Bengals defense is all right, but the reason that they won is they stopped Derrick Henry enough, and I think they will stop the Chiefs' running game. The Chiefs really didn't run the ball very well against the Bills other than Mahomes' scampers on a few occasions. But they got 3 picks on Tannehill. Mahomes just isn't going to throw those picks, isn't going to just give the ball away to this Bengals defense. I don't think Mahomes has as good of a day as he had against that Bills defense, but still, I think the Chiefs win this game at home for the third consecutive year, punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. And Paul will be picking both of these games, his first pick in the AFC title game here.
All right, boys, we are back, and we're going to start out with the AFC Championship game. I picked the Bills to beat the Chiefs last week, and the Chiefs just ran all over the number one defense in the league. That's very scary to see if you are the Bengals. Like I said last week, the Chiefs are a different team ever since that Super Bowl. They are not just throwing the ball as far as they can and doing all the crazy stuff they do. They are now using their running backs a lot. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jet McKinnon were used a lot in the divisional round. They looked great. Mahomes is throwing it under to Kelsey a lot. He's not just throwing it as far as he can to Tyreek Hill. They're a different team. These two teams are so alike, it's actually crazy. The Bengals are a lot like the Chiefs. Joey Burrow is going nuts right now. And he is actually overcoming so much stuff. We've never seen a quarterback just get sacked so many times, and it just doesn't get to him. Every quarterback who gets sacked this much in the playoffs, it seems like they crumble, and he just did not crumble. He has overcome too much to lose this game. I'm picking the Bengals by 3.
And now we get on to my pick in the NFC Championship game. And if you guys have been following the channel the last few weeks, you know that I picked the Niners betting lock last few weeks, and it's hit every single time. In this one, I'm taking the Niners 2-unit lock plus 3.5. This line just really doesn't make sense to me. This game is being played in SoFi Stadium. A few weeks ago, the Niners took over SoFi Stadium. Their fans were louder than the Rams fans, especially in the second half when they had all of the momentum there. And the Rams tried to keep these Niner fans out of the stadium, but they ultimately rescinded the policy, so I think there will be a lot of Niners fans in attendance there. So I really don't think there's going to be home field advantage. So what Vegas is really telling you is that they think the Rams on a neutral field are 3.5 points better than the Niners, and I just do not see that at all in this case. The Niners have beat the Rams 6 straight times over the last 3 years, and while it is hard to beat a team 7 times in a row, I think they just have the coaching edge. I think Shanahan has McVay's number, and this Niners offense has not looked great the last couple of weeks, I'll admit that. But still, they have gotten the job done when they need to. Jimmy G has looked pedestrian at times, but in the most clutch moments, he has made the requisite plays to win these games. With Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, he's not going to make the big-time throw over the top or outside, but he will sling it over the middle. And for some reason, the linebackers on these other teams do not cover the center of the field, which Jimmy G always picks apart. And I think the running game, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel will have a big say in who wins this game. I think the Niners will control the ground game. And then for that Niners defense, I think they can get home on this Rams O-line and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is drastically worse when he has pressure in his face. Cooper Kupp shredded them in Week 18. I don't think he has as good of a game here. I think they have a better defensive game plan. So give me the Niners outright and give me a 2-unit lock on Niners plus 3 in the hook. Paul's pick on the NFC title game next.
We go to the other side, the Rams versus the Niners. We have seen this before a lot the past 3 seasons, and it's the same story. 6 times in the row, the Niners have beat the Rams. That is actually crazy. But the Rams are an all-star team. They got players all over the place. They're very thin at all these positions. If one of their all-stars goes down, they're very thin. But they have them everywhere. They have Odell, Cooper Kupp, who tore up that Bucs defense. Matt Stafford looked good. And they got Aaron Donald, who was eating up Tom Brady. So was Von Miller, and so was Leonard Floyd. They got players all over the place. But the Niners have overcome every team in the playoffs so far. And Jimmy G doesn't even need to play well for them to beat these teams. He has 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in these playoffs, and they are still winning. They're still grinding out these wins. That just goes to show what he needs to do to win these games, and that isn't very much. He just needs to stand there and throw the ball to whoever's wide open, and they will run yards after catch. That is why I am going with the Niners.
And with that, let me know what you guys have for this week's games down below in the comments. Are you tailing me with the Chiefs, or are you going with Paul and the Bengals? And are you tailing the Niners like Paul and I did, or are you taking the Rams in the NFC Championship? Let us know in the comments down below. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.